Have you ever heard of a ship that disappears for 40 years and then returns as if it never left? In the first part, we uncovered the beginning of terrifying events aboard the Nexus's ship, where mysterious entities appeared and spread fear among the passengers. But what happened after the signal was lost? And how can a missing ship return with revelations stranger than fiction? Get ready to dive into the second part of the story, where we uncover the secrets behind the ship's disappearance and its sudden reappearance. You'll hear facts that will make you question logic and stay in your mind for a long time. This isn't just a story, it's a mystery that baffled scientists and left the world in shock. Watch now to uncover the truth behind the Nexus's ship and what happened during the 40 years it spent in the unknown. A highly trained rescue team was assembled to head to the location of the Nexus ship and deal with any potential danger. The team set off, but before reaching the site, something very strange happened. The command center ordered the rescue team to change course and return immediately. This decision came after the last distress call from the Nexus was filled with panic and horrifying screams, as if hell itself had descended upon the ship. One of the witnesses from the command center described what he heard over the radio. The captain of the ship was shouting in terror, reporting that the vessel was colliding with invisible objects that were cracking its hull, an almost impossible feat. He also described hearing strange and terrifying sounds from creatures that seemed to be on board, spreading chaos and panic among the passengers. In his final transmission, the captain screamed, "Non-human creatures are attacking the passengers," and then complete silence. The signal between the Nexus and the command center was cut off. Fearing the same fate for the rescue team, the command center insisted they return to avoid further losses, especially given the potential damage to the company's reputation. However, the team leader refused to turn back. He was determined to reach the ship in hopes of saving the passengers. After multiple failed attempts by the command center to convince him otherwise, they reluctantly allowed him to continue toward the ship's last known location. When the rescue team arrived at the coordinates where the Nexus was last reported, they found absolutely no trace of it, not even debris or any evidence of a shipwreck. The strange objects the captain had mentioned were also nowhere to be found. The team leader reported that everything appeared perfectly normal at the location. Despite thoroughly inspecting the area, there was no sign that a ship had ever been there. The authorities dispatched additional rescue teams and helicopters to sweep the surrounding area, but it was all in vain. The Nexus seemed to have vanished into thin air, as if it had traveled to another world. After months of futile searching, the case was officially closed. The media began speculating that the ship had been abducted by aliens, and this explanation gained traction among the public. The mysterious disappearance of the Nexus became a global sensation, baffling scientists and experts alike. The return of the ship. In 1993, 40 years after its disappearance, the world woke up to shocking news. The Nexus had reappeared at the port of Genoa, the very place it had set sail from. The company confirmed that the ship had docked at the port and all its passengers were still on board. However, the passengers were in a strange state, appearing as if they were either drugged or in a coma. The scene was like something out of a movie. All the passengers were alive and unharmed, but they bore visible signs of aging. Some who had been young when they boarded the ship were now elderly, and others who were already older had died of natural causes. The passengers were taken to hospitals for medical evaluations. Afterward, authorities began interrogating them to uncover what had happened during the 40 years they were missing. The shocking revelation. The most shocking twist was that none of the passengers could remember anything. Their last memory was of the terrifying creatures that appeared out of nowhere on the ship. After that, they lost consciousness and only woke up in the hospital. None of them could believe that 40 years had passed. To them, it felt like everything had happened just yesterday. The ongoing mystery. The authorities imposed a media blackout and released only minimal information about the incident. This fueled rumors that the area where the Nexus had vanished was haunted by supernatural forces, and that the ship had been released after all those years as a warning to stay away from that location. However, one detail remained puzzling. Rescue teams had previously searched the area without incident. If supernatural forces were responsible for the disappearance, why didn't they harm the search teams? The mystery of the Nexus remains one of the greatest unsolved enigmas, standing alongside other inexplicable phenomena on our planet. What lies hidden is even greater.